Okay, okay, guys, hope you're doing okay. Hi, Chad, hope you're doing okay. Good stuff. Styles, Mike, good to see you guys. Thanks for joining on camera. Appreciate it. Styles, Kat, Alex, if you want to come join on camera, let's have a good session. So I've got some stuff prepared today that I wanted to go through just to sort of help with predominantly sales conversations. But then also we can leverage what I'm about to show today also in the DMs and the conversations that we have with inbound traffic and everything else. Okay, so there's some things that I'd like to go over today and go through, but obviously you guys may have some questions, you may have some Q&A stuff, some revelations, so do let me know. So the topic where I want to sort of lead with this today is consequence questions and then also qualification questions. Okay, so the two areas that do get slept on a lot when it comes to sales, conversations, and messaging, and people don't really utilize it as much as they should do, when it comes to this area. So we're going to dive into that. I'm going to go through that. So everyone who's just joining right now, feel free to get your camera on, come join us. We're going to be talking about consequence questions and also qualification questions today, how you can leverage that in sales and also messaging. And I'm going to just start to copy and paste some of these questions in the chat for you guys to just copy and paste and copy and drag into your own documents. This will be really useful for you. So if you want to come join on camera, please do engage, and also please get any questions in the chat down below or one-to-one stuff that you want answered and everything else. Please start dropping it down. Okay. So the first thing I want to do today is I want to cover. I'm going to put this in the chat. So the first one we're going to do is consequence questions. Okay. So this is basically what we're trying to do is break the gap here. Okay. So we talk about ultimately where they were, where they want to go, and there's this gap between. This is ultimately we're basically trying to see if we don't actually solve this gap or minimize this gap, what happens basically, right? Okay. So if they don't change their situation, what will happen? And usually in the section, one or two questions is enough. I know you guys know the one that I always ask in sales stuff that I've used over the last decade, and I'm going to put copy and paste that in right now. So you should see the one that I've already put in the comment section. This is the one I use, is my favorite one that I always go to. So John, I hate to ask this question, but have you considered the possible ramifications of not doing anything about your situation? Or you can say it a certain way of, hey, have you considered the possible ramifications if nothing changes? There's loads of different ways that you can dress that up. Okay. And just notice my body language with it. I raise my shoulders. There's a little bit of skepticism. Hey, I don't want to assume here, kind of thing. Like it all plays together. It's not just what you say, it's how you deliver it, right? So just keep remembering that. So that's obviously one that I always lean to, but there are loads of other ones that we can use as well instead of this one because you've got to find your style. You've got to find your voice of what works best for you. Okay. So I'm going to start to drop a few more in here so we can figure out which actually works and aligns with you, your niche, your audience. I like the word ramifications. That's just me. I'm trying to drop a few more in here now as well. I'd love to sort of get your votes. So as I drop these ones in, actually leave a comment or a mark or a thumbs up or emoji sort of reaction on each one I put in to see actually which one you like and which one align with. You can align with a few. You don't have to just like one. I'm going to drop about 9 in here. So I want to just have a little mastermind kind of feel with you guys to actually see which one you guys think you like the best. So the next one we got here. What if you don't do anything about this problem and your situation gets even worse? Who does this impact? Now, that who does this impact bit on the end of that, okay, that could even be its own consequence question, to be honest. I've combined it into this one. But it can also, who does this impact could be also be like a probing piece, a probing statement, probing question, clarifying and probing questions, remember that? That it's its own way, probing a little bit more, okay? Um, Here's another one. This is okay. Not a massive fan of this one. What if this product service strategy you're thinking of didn't get you the results that you thought you'd get? Okay. So that's sort of consequence question on problem awareness almost. It's an extension of problem awareness in a way. Okay. So this is the one I kind of used. The second analogy, well, not analogy, sorry, the second version of the top one that I did, the ramifications one. This is that different variation. Have you considered the possible ramifications of not doing anything about your situation? I really like that one personally. I'm going to vote on that one. I like it. Okay. Here's another one. Have you thought about what would happen if you don't do anything about this? So kind of the same, right? The same things, but just dressed up in different ways. Just depends on What language you prefer best? This is a different angle. Okay, I'm sure you guys have seen something like this before. What are you going to do if nothing changes? If you keep doing the same thing for the next 5 to 10 years? Okay, that's a good one because you kind of future pace them. You future pace the consequence. Okay, so can they think about this pain and what they're going through right now? Would that be a viable option if they were still in that situation in 5 years, feeling the same way? That's a really good one. I like that one. I'm going to vote on that one as well. Actually, I probably shouldn't vote on this, should I? Because ultimately I'm influencing you guys. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to unvote on some of this. Please all vote on these ones. It'd be good to see your thoughts. Please, please, please. Here's another good one. Here's a really good one. I like, I like, I like. What are you going to do if nothing changes? If you keep using the same product service strategy that you're currently doing right now for the next 5 to 10 years? Okay. A very, very simple one as well. Final one. This is a real thinker. What is the cost of you not taking action? Okay. Just for clarity's sake here, John, I'm just curious. For you personally, what's the cost of you not taking action? That's how you would say that. Okay. So don't just read it robotically out like I've copied and pasted it. Have the different little elements I've just added to, right? That's a really good one because it gets them thinking. It just gets them thinking and they're close to thinking. It's like why we also in the situation questions ask them when you look at yourself in the mirror right now, what do you see? What do you think? What do you feel? You get them to see the pain. It's the same thing here, right? Fantastic. Has everyone finished voting? I want to see. I've dropped about 9 in there, guys. What, 8 in there? Make sure you leave a comment, a remark on. I'm actually going to add a couple more here. This is a great one. What are you going to do if your situation worsens? Ooh, that's a big one. I like it. Here you go. Have you thought what might happen to your family or your life if you don't think about this or don't do something about this? That's a good one. That's tough. Okay, right. So the votes are in. Okay, so it looks like there's a solid 4 votes for have you thought about what would happen if you don't do anything about this? Solid. And then also a good 4 votes for what are you going to do if your situation worsens? That's a really good one. Okay, hopefully this helped. So you're going to take these questions, copy them, drag them all into a little document for yourself right now, guys. Drag and drop, okay? And then don't only just do this in the consequence section of your sales calls. Also start to leverage this a little bit in your conversations you're having organically, okay? Start to sprinkle that in. It's for both areas, both components, okay? Good stuff. Excellent. Any questions or consequence questions before we go on? And does everyone understand where they should be talking about consequence questions before I move on? This is a big one. I need to see everyone give me a thumbs up before I move on here, because otherwise we're gambling. Anya's got a thumbs up. Mike, you gave me a raised eyebrow. I'm not too sure. Laurie? No.
I want you to go. I want you to go through it again. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
will.
really good if you
Yes, yes, I
told us
will.
exactly
Absolutely.
what
Yeah,
you
this
said.
will be useful for everyone. Okay, cool. So remember the 10. Just if you ever get lost and you haven't got a script to hand or whatever, just keep it simple. Think 10. 10. Your whole sales framework should be 10, right? Okay, you got front 6, back 4. Okay, front 6. Consequence questions are in the front 6. Okay, so number 1 is your pre-frame. Number 2, situation questions. Number 3, problem awareness. Number 4, solution questions. Number 5, consequence questions. And then number 6 that we're just going on to right now, qualification questions. Good stuff. Then the back 4 is transition statement, presentation, pitch, objection handling. That's your back 4. Okay, good stuff. Everyone clear? Everyone's super clear where that would drop in. Do we understand why we position consequence there, right? Because once again, it's this gap that we're creating. Situation questions, this is your pain. Solution questions, this is your outcome. This gap, we're going to minimize this gap. Oh, hang on. What happens if we don't minimize the gap? That's what this is, right? That's why we place it here after. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's go on to qualification questions, right? Okay. So how we simplify what we're talking about here is how important is it for them to change their situation? Very, very simple. Okay. Average, once again, 1 to 2 questions with what I'm about to share here that you want to use. You don't have to use all of the ones that I'm sharing. Once again, feel free to vote. I'm just going to drag and drop some things in here. Okay. Now, there's actually one that's not in here that I will say. Okay. This first one here. How important is it for you to start to change the situation and start achieving X, Y, Z? Plug in what they said. Okay. Right. Then a little bit of a probing question, clarifying question after. Okay. Which would be, let me just drag this for you. Why is it important to you now, though? So that's that extension, that's that probing, clarifying question. Okay. A really good one as well. This is an underrated one. How would that make you feel to do that? Okay. Or like, for instance, someone says, like, I want to achieve this, this, and this. Right, fantastic. You achieving this, this, and this, how would that make you feel? Or what would that do for you in other aspects of your life? That's a really good one. Okay. Okay. So we've kind of done that on how important is it for you to solve this problem. This is a good one here. How do you see this being beneficial to you and start your company? What are some ways this could help you? That's more of a B2B question. So you can really kind of change that accordingly. Okay. How you probably change that for your market would be something like, how do you see this being beneficial for you in other aspects of your life? Perhaps your relationships, your children, your career, question mark. Okay. This is another good one. If you could, what would it do for you personally? Okay. Now this is quite interesting now. This is something that I don't really use, but it shouldn't be slept upon. Check this out. Here you go. So John, if you were to find something that could get you what you're looking for, what type of funds would you want to put into that? That's a good one. It's a financial qualifying question. Have you thought about whether you were going to invest in yourself and your health? And obviously spouse, if you support investing in your health, we all know this. Know you're on the call, what problems are you looking to solve when you get started. Another one to add to this, and I'll add this in. This is my favorite at the moment. On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to investing in yourself and becoming the X, Y, Z you just told me? Okay. I don't want to influence you, but that's the best one. That's the one I like. That's the one I use. Can anyone answer why I've come to the conclusion that that is the best one?
Because they've already told you the answer to the question.
This is true. Yes. That's no, no, not yet, Mike. No, I know where you're going with that. That's actually after the presentation when we anchor commitment. This is before. This is in qualification questions before we even present. So why do you think I like this question more than the others?
Because it pre-handles a financial objection.
How? How does it do that?
Because you're asking them to qualify themselves to you and tell me why the fuck should you invest your money with me?
Yeah.
You're basically just saying how serious are you in actually investing? And
Yeah.
they're going, well, I'm serious. And then you know that there shouldn't be an objection on financial status coming up. And if there is, you go back to it and say, well, you just told me you're a 9 out of 10 in commitment on investing.
Yeah.
What's changed?
It's a good observation. I like it. Well done. Yeah, it's one of the many reasons why I like this. Agreed. And it's also not the only way I temp check their level of investment. So yes, Well done. But there's
To
also, sorry, go on. Someone said,
I was just
Laurie?
gonna say to tag on to what Alex said, you're also kind of flipping the power differential. They're in a position of almost telling you that you should take me because of XYZ rather than the other way around. And so you're kind of almost creating some scarcity and
Mm,
like convince me why I should bring you on. So it flips the power.
100%.
It's
Absolutely.
just human nature. Then
Yeah.
we want to like, I want you to pick me, pick me.
Yes, absolutely. Bang on. Laurie's right. That's the second reason why I like this more. Absolutely, is because it's subtle language and subtle placement that positions you as authority that helps them realize that they have to be selected as opposed to we just take anyone, right? That creates more movement towards having some. Like Laurie says, bang on. Absolutely. There's also one more reason. Can anyone find why and what that one more reason is of why I like this one? Can anyone? You've kind of answered it in a way, guys. I'm not being
Is
funny.
it
You kind of answered it already, but
is it because you're framing it as an investment as opposed to a cost?
No, that is true, but it's not the point I'm talking about. But you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What I'm talking about here is where most people in this situation would they'd just say, yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this to you? Right? But we're not really bothered about that. They're on the call for a reason. It's some level of importance. It's a void question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to becoming that person that you told me? Now, why that's important for me and you is not because of the sale, because of the back end and actually fulfilling the client. Because we all know the adherent, committed clients get results and you change their lives, right? So you're now creating a gateway to say, look, we only work with the committed. Why is that? Because if you're 10 out of 10 committed, it's a done deal. It's just a science. We're getting this job done. So now it becomes if you can match us on the standards and behavior, you're going to win. It's a guarantee. Then once again, you become even more valuable in the process, right? Yes, Laurie.
A follow-up to this question that I like too is when because a lot of times they'll say, oh, 8 or 9 or whatever. And
Yeah.
before going into like, if you're that committed, yada, yada, um, I have asked, which was worked really well, is okay, so tell me, why wouldn't you say a 2 or a 1? And then they go even more into convincing themselves, obviously, out loud, why they're so committed, then go to that next step.
That's a really good one, actually. I really like that. I've never used that before, but that's a good one. You know,
It
that's,
works better than
yeah,
saying, oh, great, tell me why you're a 9 or whatever. If they have to kind of
yeah,
argue the opposite of why I'm not a 2,
yeah,
it
yeah.
seems more powerful in the
No, it is.
conversation.
It's a really good one. I'd say a similar one to what Laurie's trying to achieve then do is if someone calls out a 6, you go back and say, well, 6 is quite a high number. Why so high? And now they justify once again really why they're an 8 or a 9, but they're saying 6 because they ultimately don't want to give you the power. That's what happens there, right? Makes sense? Alex was going to say that one. Nice one. Good stuff. Really good stuff here, guys. We're networking with each other. It's fantastic. We're growing together, so it's good. Okay, so people like I see here the votes are coming in. Good stuff. Good stuff. Copy and paste this all down. Copy it. Put it all into a doc. Grab these. Okay, but I definitely think that last one I've just put in there. I think that's the one. I do. I really think it do. Maybe one or two is enough. I really do think. Alex, you got a question here. I think these are solid. I could also make some good hooks for some content. 100%. Yeah, these are good, like sort of yeah, hooks on top of your thumbnails and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Right. Okay, cool. So obviously at this stage now, we were just going for the 1 to 10 with Mike and we're just going over that. And then we kind of go into that back four. Okay. But what we do here is it's more of a transition statement that we go into. Okay. Now, if you do calls like how I used to do it, it kind of looks like this. Okay. You should see on screen right now. So what I used to do back in the day is I used to have these A4 notes and I used to take all notes and really scribe down what they're saying. And then basically what I would do is I'd be like, look, so John, I've been taking some notes today, really understand your situation, what's going on, and really show them. So I've been writing away. People love that. They love it that you're really invested in on them on that call. And you basically saying the transition statement, transition statement is, look, I can see where we are right now. I can see the problems and hurdles that that are in front of us right now. Are you open to some honest feedback on ultimately what we need to do to solve them? Question mark. Are you open to some honest feedback? That's the question, really. And every single time they're going to say yes. Okay. And then at that stage, it's very, very simple. We go into the presentation, which is going to be problem, pillar, problem, pillar, problem, pillar, wrap it all up together. Okay? Is everyone clear on how that works and how that flows? Would anyone like me to go over that one more time, just so we're super clear on how that works? Let me know. And alongside that, that whole piece of problem, pillar, and then combine it all up together, that is a great Facebook Live video for you guys to do today. Okay? Great piece of content. Okay? I would actively go and do that. I used to do that at least once a month, all the way back in 2017. I used to do that all the time, and I get engagement on that all the time. Okay? So go and do that today. Go and do a Facebook Live or an Instagram video, basically talking about my blueprint. Okay? The first problem we see with ambitious, driven women is this. Our first pillar is this. It solves that problem. Meet Sally. She solved that problem. The second problem we've got is this. The second pillar we've created is this. It solves that problem. Meet Sandra. She solved that problem. And so on and so on and so on. And then you get to the end of the 3 or 4 pillars or whatever, and you go, look, when we combine these 4 pillars together, not only does your health improve, all of the aspects of your life improve also. We create and combine Standard 2.0, who's now lean, confident, outgoing, energetic, looking the part, feeling the part, back in control, demanding authority and respect, adding quality years to our life. Are those the kind of results you wanted? Yes. Great. Well, that's exactly the result we guarantee here. Wait. Okay. Yes, Chad, absolutely. Take it organically first. See the pull on it first. But yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then what you could use is a top of funnel ad where the call to action is follow to learn more, or follow for more content on XYZ. So you could use this as a top of funnel ad. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, I just used it in Facebook Live. I think that's a good one to do. Okay. Excellent. Then obviously at that stage, then Mike, that's where we're talking about anchoring commitment. That's when we come in at that stage and go, well, look, Sandra, as confident as I am, I never like to assume. Do you feel this is the answer to what you're looking for? Do you notice how I said that though, just then? That's the key thing. It's not what I say, it's how I say it, right? So with Sandra, I go, well, look, Sandra, my body language. As confident as I am. Look, as confident as I am. I never like to assume. Do you feel this is the answer to what you're looking for? So it's unassuming. It invites her in to go, hey, James, yeah, no, you are. This is the answer. Okay, well, why? Why do you feel we're the answer? Well, James, I think it's because of X, Y, and Z. That's the goal. That is the mission in everything you're trying to do. Your whole lead generation, all your different processes as an online health and fitness coach, everything you do all leads to that moment. That's the moment on the chessboard. That's the checkmate that you're going for, right? Everyone needs to understand that. That is the play. That's the play. You've got to find that moment to get into that position to play that through pass. That's it. Don't think about anything else in a sales call or messaging or anything else without that. Okay? Otherwise, it's a chance. Okay? Everyone clear on that? Yeah? Good stuff. Once again, we know we're empowering the client to make the decisions. We're not ultimately pushing them into a corner. They're empowering their own decision of what to do moving forward. Excellent. Very good. Okay. Any questions as we're moving through? Any questions? All making sense? So just going back to qualification questions, okay? Sometimes you guys will take calls and then you'll have like a two-step call. Like sometimes they'll go away or do the pre-call home videos and you need to like kind of chunk up, chunk down and get some momentum back into the call. And sometimes you may need a few questions to sort of just get the gears going a little bit more with these people, right? Okay. Here's some extra questions that I can just feed you that will be useful for you in the DM or even on sales calls. So that's what I'm going to feed in for you right now. Okay. Number one, when are you looking to solve these problems? Okay, that's a good one. So that could be used as consequence, that could be used as qualification, that could even be used straight after anchoring commitment. That could be a really good one to use there. Okay. Here's a good one that could be using back into consequence questions that we missed. Why not stay where you're at? Right? That could be a good one for people, the ones that come on the call and they're like, well, I've got it all figured out, but I'm still on a call with you, those kind of people, right? Why are you here? Right? We get some of those people. Yeah, well, okay, great. It sounds like you got it all figured out. Why not stay where you're at? That's a great question, right? Absolutely. Okay, so this one I'm putting in now is the one. This one has to run. This is another play. Okay, so obviously we know we're leading to the pitch close, but the final line that must come out your mouth every single time before you get to the actually pitch wants to be this one. Okay, Sandra, where do you want to go from here? And they go, well, look, what's the investment? How do we proceed? How do we go from here? Right? That's really important, that one. Okay. Another one, as we know, just before that, after anchoring commitment, where online coaches go wrong, is they go, have you any questions for me? Never say that. Okay. What we say instead is there anything else I need to know about you before we proceed? Or even more qualification, is there anything else we need to know about you before we consider you for this program? Fuck, that's a great one, isn't it? Oh shit, they actually pick us here. That's what that is. Really good. Don't be afraid to use it in the moment. Don't be afraid. Okay. So now the one I've got here, interestingly, okay, I think there's a better way to do this. So go ahead. Is there anything stopping you from starting today? Can anyone think about where that question should be and how it could be made better? Anyone? Can anyone think? Where should that be, that question? Where should it slot in?
Pre-objection handling.
Yeah, what is pre-objection handling? What's it called?
I
Of the
don't know.
one of the 1 to 10, which one would you call pre-objection handling? You've got it nailed on. You nailed it. But what is it? What's it called? It's in the front six, but which one is it?
Qualification, consequence, no?
No, you had it. Qualification. You had it.
Ah,
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. Yes, it goes in there.
I suppose because you're removing the time barrier, or I'll start next week, or
You don't remove that because that's a complaint. Those are all complaints. You
pre-handles.
yeah. You, you can't remove those. But what you do, what you're trying to do is you're trying to temp check for certainty, right? Because objections are lack of certainty in you, lack of certainty in themselves, or they don't think you're worth it. That's what objections are. Complaints are time, I need to think about it, spouse, partner, money. They're complaints, right? How do we know that to be true? We know that to be true because if we ask the question, hey, do you think, as confident as I am, do you feel this is the answer to what you're looking for, right? And they say, yes, I do think you're the answer. And I say, why? And then they tell me X, Y, and Z. That's not an objection. I'm in. I like this. I'm aligned with this. Oh, I can't afford it. That's a complaint because they've just told me this is right for them. You can see the difference, right? So that's why we always must anchor commitment before we talk about money, right? Okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely, mate. Good stuff. You're doing well. This question, it wants to be qualification question, and it wants to be after the 1 to 10, how committed are you? Then you 10 check on it. I'm just curious, is there anything stopping you from investing in yourself today and actually making a change? That's a good one. Depends how those kind of investment lines and everything else, it depends how forthcoming you want to be. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Excellent. Right. We've done this before, but I just want to give a little bit more value in here as well because this stuff is gold for your content, messaging, and your sales. Okay. I want you to think about the probing, clarifying questions again. We're going to go through them. Okay. But just remember, like in any moment in a sales call where it gets a little bit like short answers and snappy answers and they're not giving you much, this is your play. This is what you have to do. Okay. So I'm gonna sort this out for you guys now. Right. I'm gonna just scatter a load in here for you. Okay. Once again, copy this. So visualize this. This is probing now. Okay. So you go, well, I'm looking to lose weight. Well, why? How come? Or how long has that been going on for? Has that impacted you in any way? Right, we're trying to enlarge, 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 right? Yeah, I'm dropping a load in here for you. Who's this impacting? Who told you that? Who inspired you to do that? Why is that important to you now, though? Why? How long? Anything else? These are all good probing questions. Just gives you a little bit more. Why is this important? Because in section 1, situation questions, we're looking for the moment, aren't we? Trying to find that moment that made them want to reach out and make a change, right? So we're hunting for that moment, and naturally they won't give you that moment. They're gatekeeping it. Not everyone wants to be extremely vulnerable, so you need to use the probing questions to unravel the moment. Okay? Clarifying questions. When you say this, what do you mean by that? What does that mean? Right? There you go. Take these. What do you mean by that? What does that mean? Tell me more about that. To clarify and verify, when you said this, does that mean this? Can you clarify that for me? That's another good one. Okay. So we talk about obviously a lack of certainty in themselves, a lack of certainty in you, the provider, and they just don't think you're worth it, right? For you to food for thought in a different lens of thinking it is number one, they're not going to use your product or service. Number two, they don't think it's going to work. And that obviously, as we know, it comes back to certainty, right? That's why we label it that way. So it's really interesting for you to sort of think about this at the end, or at the start, really, is thinking about these two things, right? Because I'll be as blunt and direct at the end sometimes. I'll be like, look, let's play a game. Let's play a game. Come on. Which one is it? One of three things. You don't trust me, you don't trust yourself, or you just think I'm not worth it. Or just overpriced crap. Which one is it? And just gamify it. Just to have a little bit of a laugh with it. Which one is it? And they'll start to open up. Right? Because the complaints are these: money, time, asking partner, ego. They're complaints. Okay. Let's play a game with you guys. Okay, let's see how switched on you guys are with this. Okay. Smoke screens. What smoke screens are there? Do you guys know what smoke screens are? How do they show up on sales calls? What do they look like? And what do they mean? Can anyone answer? Ask husband, 100%. That's number 3 on my list. Good. Well done, Laurie. Good. I've got 10 to give here, guys. 10. Laurie's got one of them. Let's tick them off. Let's go. Come on. What other smoke screens have we got? Let's play
Need to
bingo.
think about it.
Huh?
Need to think about it. Chad's got it.
Uh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I've got that disguised in a slight different way where it comes up in 2, right? So I've got number 7 here. I need some time to think over it. Okay. And number 10. Okay, well, how do I get back in touch with you if I decide to move forward? Okay, so good. There's 3 ticked off here. Can you send me some info? Alex, well done. Yes. That's number 9 here. Send me some information. Well done, well done. Scared if I fail again. Let's have a look. Yeah, in a way, it just I've got that dressed in a different way, which is if someone says, "Do you have a guarantee?" Okay, good, good, good. Chad, yeah, we've answered that. Information spot on, well done. Now it's not a good time. Yeah, so I've got that as number 1, which is I need time to find the money and look over my finances. Comes into the sort of financial realm. Think about that, guys. Think about the finances as well. Think about smokescreen finances. Talk about that.
Can't
Very simple.
afford it.
Yeah, there you go. I have no money. I have no money. Or I don't have the money. I need time to find the money and look over my finances. Okay? That's that. What are these all saying? Keep thinking about this. Okay? I've got, there you go. So I've got here, and there's another one for the money. Once I make some money, then I want to work with you. That's another one. Okay. I've got one final one that we've missed here. Can anyone figure out what it may be? What people say? These are all good things that you're saying, by the way, guys. All really good things. All kind of into the similar brackets, everything else. Um, yeah, that's a good one as well, Laurie. I like. Yeah. This is the one that we see most often is I just don't make decisions on the spot. There you go. So these, what do they all mean? We've just now gone through these 10. Bang on. I'm going to copy them here so you can process them down. Okay, copy them, guys. Easier smoke screens. But what does every single one of these 10, what do they tell us? What are they indirectly telling us when they say this? Because that's what a smoke screen is, right? They tell us one thing, but it actually means something indirectly. What is it? What are they saying?
Well, number 1 says that they have no idea about the investment before they came on the call, maybe. Um, Number 2, don't make
No, no.
decisions.
So all of them say the same thing. All of them are saying the same thing, but they're dressed in different ways to trick us. All of them say, I need more certainty.
Ah,
That's it. All 10 say that. Yeah, Lexi's got it right. That they're not sold. They need more certainty. Right? There you go. Okay, so let's role play. So Laurie says, I'm the source of info. So how would you go about that, Laurie? Because this comes on quite nicely. Well, you know that you're the source of info, but how would you dress it up for them to ultimately realize that? Where would you go? What would that look like?
Typically in the conversation, I just address that directly and say, this is what we do. And I put it in a frame for
Yeah.
like as smart, successful women. We're decisive in, our business or our professional lives or whatever. But when it comes to investing in ourselves, we start to say, oh, well, I need to process it or whatever they said, right? And so I said, The truth is, what I find is the most successful women that I work with are decisive, just about this, just like they are in their professional world. So when in our professional world, when we need to think about something, it means we need to gather information. I'm your source of information. I'm here right now. So what questions do you have that, or what questions are coming up for you right now that I can answer for you? And that analogy of how this is just like in your business life or your professional life or whatever usually translates for them, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they will start asking questions that truly aren't really at first. They'll be more logistical kinds of things. Then we'll actually get into where the doubts and the fears are, and they'll be more vulnerable. That's usually how I handle it.
I like. I'm not knocking it 100%. Okay. We've got to go a certain way just to make sure it doesn't create sales pressure. That's the only thing here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how we're going to do that, team, okay, is we're going to do it this way. It's a 6-step process to overcoming every objection. Notice that objection, not complaint. Okay. Right. So can anyone walk me through the 6 stages before I tell you the 6 stages? Does anyone know the 6 stages?
Acknowledge, understand.
Yes, let's try and get the right order. Go for it. You're on the right track. You got 2 there, but hit me the order.
Understand. No, appreciate.
Yeah. Understand. Yeah. Understand.
Understand. Appreciate.
No, you've missed one before. Appreciate. Understand. Then what must we do? So if understand is 1 and appreciate is 3, what has to be 2?
Isolate.
Yes, absolutely, Anya. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Bang on. Yeah. Understand the objection. Then we've got to isolate it. Is it this or is it this? Then 3, bang on, which is appreciate what they just said. What's 4? Now, some people may say 4 is counter, right? I've previously taught that model before, but think about it just a little bit more detail. If we're going 6, think about it. What does that look like? Can anyone guess? In this situation, yes, Laurie, yes, but it's more realign them to what they told you in problem awareness, vision, solution questions, and gap, which is consequence questions, right? Be the leader. Then 5 and 6, 5, ask for the decision. 6, collect the credit. That's your play. Okay? So let's break them down here, okay? Let's get some wording for you guys. So number 1, we're going to go number 1, understand the objection. Let's go through this. Okay, here we go. So we've got here, appreciate and understand the world we cannot influence if we are judging them or their objection, okay? When they stake their first objection, stay silent for at least 4 seconds. Let them process it. Your word choice. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm with you. I take full responsibility for you saying that. Understand the objection. So why you said it's not the right time? Or what do you mean by that? Or what does that mean to you? Okay? So understanding it, okay? Appreciating how they feel. Disarm them is what we're trying to do here. Okay? Then into number 2, isolate the objection, which is what we've got next. Okay? So very, very simple with isolating. Is it A or is it B? That's your play with anything. So finances, time, think about it, money. When you say this, is it this or is it this? Okay? Here you go. Check this out. Grab these all down. Super important. Okay? So when you say you can't afford it, does that mean you don't have the money to invest or you're not wanting to invest the money? Okay? So when you say you have to think about it, does that mean you're in and you just need to think about it? Or is there something else you need to think about? Why is that important to do that? Because you can collect deposits off the first answer, right? Okay. When you say it's not the right time, or you have to accomplish this thing before moving forward, does that mean you're moving forward now? Or is there something else in the way? Okay. Another good one as we know it for the finances could be, I'm just curious, just for clarity's sake here, money aside, is there any other reason why you don't want to move forward and proceed? That's a really good one. Okay. Here you go. So now on to number 3. Appreciate the objection. Check this out. Copy and paste this, grab this. Okay. So appreciation and non-judgment of their objection is crucial here. Remember, if you are judging them or feeling some type of way about what they're communicating with you, they will feel that and it will create the resistance and the sales pressure. So true appreciation and curiosity of their story, behaviors, and decision making is crucial for this. Typically, the objections they're giving you are the gold and the reason why they're currently stuck. If these patterns, thoughts, and stories that will not allow them to create their true vision for what is they said they wanted the most. So word choices here. I appreciate you showing that you don't have the money. I appreciate you sharing that you want to run it past your business partner or your spouse. I appreciate you sharing that you need to think about it. I also appreciate you showing that this isn't the right time. Yeah? Work with them, not against them. Okay? This, you need to get down. This is good. Okay? This is the realign. There's an example for each objection. Okay? Let me know you guys have got this. The think objection. I need to think about it. I'm with you that you need to think about it. But let me ask you, how long have you been thinking about fixing this so you can actually achieve X, Y, Z, like we just discussed? Money. I'm with you, and I understand I'm with you, and I understand finances can be a challenge. Let me ask this. Is this the first time you've allowed money to stop you fixing this so you can start achieving X, Y, Z like we discussed? That's actually a good one. Okay, when appropriate. Sometimes if you ask the isolation question that I said before, you don't need to do this. You just be countering into a back-end offer. Depends if you want to push for the high ticket or not. Okay. Partner. I'm with you and I completely encourage you speaking to your partner. Let me ask you this. What happens if they say no to you fixing this problem that we discussed? Can you live with no fixing this right away and not achieving X, Y, Z like we discussed? Out of all of them, I'm not so hot about that one. Because I don't really like probing on the partner. I don't like doing that. That's me personally. But if you wanted to realign them, that is something you could say. I personally tried to go a different way on the realignment. I go, look, we're a team. We move together as one. We need your partner on this call. When's best for us to all get on call so we can get her certainty or him certainty? So we all make sure that the family's making the right decision here. Different way to go about it. Yeah. Time objection. I'm with you and I understand it's not the right time, but let me ask you this. When will it be the right time for you to fix this challenge and start achieving X, Y, Z like you told me before? So once again, holding the mirror up to help them realize there's never going to be a perfect time. The other way you could go about them and say, hey, do you mind? Are you open to some honest feedback? Are you open to some coaching right now? Yeah, sure. Why? And then you tell them. Yeah. Okay, right. So now you have to ask for the decision. Okay. So these are some options that you can run here for asking for the decision. Someone here, you've got, can you see how solving this problem would benefit you? Why do you say that? And how, and why is it important for you now? And we can dress that up in different ways with your language and everything else. Okay. Once again, here, it's just aligning behaviors and action with the vision at this stage and however you want to dress that up. Okay. and obviously collect the CC when it comes to that, if it does come to that, okay? Very, very simple line, okay? I know what I'm going to say here. Before I say it, let's gamify this again. What do people say? Before collecting payment, what do you guys do? I'm interested. What do you say? You know that awkward moment that coaches have where it's like, oh, here comes the payment thing. How do I actually segue this? People get all a little bit, awkward on how to segue into Stripe and actually do that. What do you think you need to say? What do you say to make it super, relaxed and chill as opposed to all this big payments coming or, what do people say?
Just literally on the call, like what do I say?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just like, oh, awesome. Grab your card. I'm going to open my enrollment software. Grab your card and let's get this going.
Okay, I like it. Not bad, not bad. You say it with confidence. Works very well. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent. Alex,
Grab
look,
whatever card you want to use is fine. Let's get it going.
yeah, you're now on the right track with where I'm going. Okay, Lexi's kind of answered it already. Well done. Alex, no, for God's sake, no. Okay, don't do that. Okay. Why do we not do that, Alex? Why?
Because it gives them a chance to go away and change their mind.
Yeah, the human brain is conditioned to talk themselves out of it versus into it. Yeah, when coming off. Right? So Lexi's got it dialed in. Absolutely. If it's a simple question, would be like, hey, look, just regarding the payment, is that Visa or MasterCard you wanted to use? Oh, I think it's Visa. Let me go and get my card. Yeah. Super easy. Do you want me to finance it or do you want to finance it? I would do that if you get resistance. I wouldn't lead with that. I would if I get a bit of a pushback or rebuttal, that's what I would maybe lean in to do. But does it work for you? That's the question. I don't want to assume, huh? Yeah. Maybe Andrea, maybe it works for you. It clearly works for you. I've seen the sales you've been making. Yes. Rockstar. Good. Okay, cool. Any more questions on this? We've had a good call here. I kind of overtook it on sales, but I think we got some value on here. Good 55 minutes of seminar stuff here today. Hopefully you grabbed everything, copy and pasted everything. Take this not only in your sales, use it everywhere else. In your messaging, your content, use it. Okay? Some good frameworks and systems to run there. If you can just try and clone all of that into your skull and just have it just ready to distribute off you, you'll do very well, I promise you. You'll do very well. And you don't need anything else. That's the thing. You don't need any other flashy sales course or master or anything else. What I've basically taught you there is it. It's good. It's gold. You don't need to complicate it. Great. Any more questions? Are we all happy? It's good call today. Enjoyed it. Good fun. Perhaps you guys can drop your revelations in the Facebook group after of certain things you took from the call today and certain things you're going to be taking into your next sales call. That could be good. Let's do that and tag me in it after. Keen to hear what your revelations were today. Good stuff. Awesome. All right then, Tim. If there's no more questions, we can wrap it up there. It's good, long call that. Okay, all good, all happy? Yeah, sweet. Keep me posted. Let's get after it today. Get your revelations, tag me, and we'll go from there. Well done, Tim. Catch you in a sec.